Hi, thank you for joining the second part of the How to Be a Savvy Supermarket Shopper webinar series. My name is Rebecca Greco. I am a dietitian and the owner of Nourish Adelaide. My mission in life is to help people like yourself improve your health through good food. Thank you to the City of Unley for this opportunity to develop this webinar for you today. After today's session, I hope you have a better understanding about the confusing world of health and nutrition claims on packaged foods, how to avoid marketing traps from the food manufacturers and also within the supermarket, and also a few of my favourite savvy grocery shopping tips and hacks. As always, if you have any questions, please jump onto my website www.nourishadl.com and complete the contact form. Before we begin, I would just like to say that today's webinar focuses on general health and wellbeing advice. If you have a chronic condition and are after more tailored and personalised advice for your needs, please head to my website to arrange an appointment with myself. I currently consult in Colonel Light Gardens and in Erindale, and I am more than happy to have a chat with you to improve your health through good food. So let's first chat about nutrition content claims, which are voluntary statements made by food businesses on labels and in advertising about a food. The claims can be about the content of certain nutrients or substances in a food, for example, low in fat or good source of calcium. The nutrition content claims need to meet certain criteria developed by Food Standards Australia and New Zealand, which is Australia's leading food safety authority. Nutrition claims and symbols can be useful to help us make smarter choices and food purchases. However, many can be misleading. The Nutrition Information Panel is the best place to look for nutrition information. And if you haven't watched my first webinar, please do, because I explain how to read and interpret the Nutrition Information Panel. However, it is still good to be aware of some common claims and understand what they actually mean. So some common nutrition claims include low fat, which means that the product contains less than 3 grams of fat per 100 grams. However, be mindful, in some low-fat products, additional sugar or sodium may be added. For example, low-fat lollies may have minimal fat but are full of added sugar. On the other hand, there are various products without this nutrition claim that are still low-fat and are a nutritious option, like Ravita biscuits. But if this claim is on a product by law, it must have 3 grams or less of fat per 100 grams. Reduced fat and salt means that the product has 25% less fat or salt than the original product of the same brand. Be sure to check for additional sugar in these products, for example, milk, cheese, and ice cream, that have a regular and reduced fat option, and sauces such as soy sauce, tomato, and barbecue sauce with reduced salt. No added sugar means there has been none added during production. However, it could still be high in natural sugar. For example, some fruit juices are 100% juice without concentrates or additional sugar. Diet products usually means they have been artificially sweetened, such as diet soft drinks and desserts like jelly. Diet products can be a good stepping stone to reducing the total amount of sugar and energy in your eating pattern. However, they should not be a long-term solution. There have not been enough studies to know the long-term health effects of high intakes of artificially sweetened products, but we do know that high amounts can lead to stomach upset. Low GI certified means that this product has been extensively tested to ensure it fits within the low glycemic index category, or GI. The GI rates carbohydrates according to how quickly they raise the glucose level of our blood. Remember that a low GI rating of a food does not necessarily mean you can eat a larger serve of that food. The total amount of carbohydrates and kilojoules eaten is still really important, especially in terms of diabetes management. Some products like mayonnaise will say 80% fat-free, but this is the same as saying contains 20% fat, so is still potentially an unhealthy choice. Cereals, like Weet-Bix for example, will say a good source of vitamin B12, meaning that the food contains at least 25% of that vitamin according to the recommended dietary intake. There are many other nutrition claims out there, and some sound too good to be true. This is why it is good to be aware of them. But as always, come back to the nutrition information panel and the ingredients list to make sure that you are making smart food purchases. Here are some examples of some common nutrition claims. So red kidney beans have no added salt. This soy sauce claims it has less salt. These wraps are low GI. The cheese is reduced fat. And this yogurt contains no added sugar. You may also notice health claims on a variety of packaged foods. Health claims refer to a relationship between food and health rather than a statement of content. There are two types of health claims, the first being the general level health claims, which refer to a nutrient or substance in a food or the food itself and its effect on health. For example, calcium for strong bones and teeth. The second type of health claims are higher level health claims, which refer to a nutrient or substance in a food and its relationship to a serious disease or to a biomarker of a serious disease. For example, diets high in calcium may reduce the risk of osteoporosis in people 65 years and over. Let's look at FLORA Proactive as examples of health claims. The nutrition content claims that this margarine is virtually trans fat free, whereas the health claims state that this proactive formula has plant sterols which are clinically proven to lower cholesterol, and all you need is 1 tablespoon a day to lower your cholesterol in 3 weeks as part of a healthy lifestyle. Now, this has been proven in a study, so these claims are backed up by the science. The nutrition claim says that FLORA Proactive basically has no trans fat, and when we look at the per 100 gram column within the nutrition information panel, we can see that 100 grams contains half a gram of trans fat. The health claim states that we need 25 grams of this margarine a day to lower cholesterol levels. Now, I calculated 25 grams of FLORA Proactive, which is still a small amount of trans fat. But I calculated 25 grams in terms of the kilojoules, which equates to 700 kilojoules in the diet, not the 239 kilojoules reflected in the 10 gram serving size. So if you are trying to manage your weight, this perhaps may add extra unnecessary kilojoules into your day. So therefore, FLORA Proactive is an energy-dense food with very little nutritional profile. And although it can help to decrease cholesterol levels, I don't believe that it is the magic bullet that it sounds to be in the health claim on the front packaging. Sometimes I think it is a shame that fruits and veggies do not have an information panel or health and nutrition claims. We know that fruits and veggies have every nutrient needed to help manage cholesterol levels as part of a healthy and balanced diet. They are high in plant sterols, fibre, antioxidants, and are low in kilojoules. Studies show that consuming just 2 to 3 grams of plant sterols a day can lower both total and bad cholesterols by about 10%. We can achieve this through eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables. Now you may have noticed tiny writing on packaged foods and also on commercials, which are disclaimers. They essentially act as a safety net for food companies. One recent example is the Special K Nourish range. The marketing team claims that this special range is full of goodness and that the Nutri K flakes are nutritious. However, Kellogg's fails to back up this claim with a specific health benefit or a specific ingredient, and therefore adds a disclaimer which says, enjoy as part of a varied and balanced diet and a healthy lifestyle. Let's move on to some marketing claims. Now, lite or lite, spelt L-I-T-E, does not always refer to the fat or energy content of a product. The label could be related to the colour, the texture, or light taste of the product. No cholesterol, low cholesterol, and cholesterol-free on plant-based foods like margarine and cooking oils are misleading, as plants naturally contain little to no cholesterol. These foods, however, can still be high in fat and energy. Fresh can simply refer to the fact that the product has not been preserved through production. The food item may still have spent significant time in refrigeration, processing, and transport before being purchased. Organic can be freely used for advertising and does not necessarily mean that the product is free of synthetic chemicals in their production. Let's compare these two wraps for example. On the left, we have Simpson's Pantry high protein, low carb wraps, and on the right, we have Helga's lower carb wraps. It would be easy to assume that the Helga's lower carbohydrate wraps are in fact lower in carbs compared with others on the market. But as you can see, the Helga's wraps contains almost 33 grams of carbs per 100 grams, whereas the Simpson's Pantry low carb wraps are in fact lower than Helga's with only 20 grams of carbs per 100 grams. This goes to show that it definitely pays to glance at the nutrition information panel and compare products to see which is the healthiest. Here are some examples of very sneaky marketing claims. The first being that a supermarket chicken is 100% hormone-free, and I'm sure that you have seen this particular commercial. However, the truth is that in Australia, adding hormones to chicken has been illegal since the 60s. So, in actual fact, no chickens contain hormones. The second claim is from the same supermarket who claims that their beef is also 100% hormone-free. You may remember this one a few years ago. This supermarket came under fire for this one. with the Victorian Farmers Federation president saying that this supermarket chain are creating a monster in the mind of consumers, that this is bad, when the reality is there are no health risks with hormone growth promotants in beef. This campaign implies that there's some chemical being pumped into the beef, and this is just nonsense. Now, only a few years ago, in 2018, Heinz were fined $2.25 million from the Australian Competition and Consumers for claiming that their product, fruit and veg shreds for children aged 1 to 3 years, contained 99% fruit and vegetables, when actually the product contains over 60% sugar coming from fruit juice, fruit concentrate, fruit paste, and the fruit puree. Another form of marketing is called greenwashing, and this is used by companies to deceptively persuade the public that an organisation's products, aims, and policies are environmentally friendly and therefore better. The same concept is also used in nutrition, and this is known as nutri-washing. Now, companies use the colour green in the background and in writing to evoke the idea of good nutrition and health. As you can see in these examples, these packaged products include green lawn, fields, trees, and the sun to portray good nutrition and sustainability practices, when actually some of these foods are high in fat and kilojoules. This is very misleading and can also fool customers into thinking that the food is natural and organic. An example of causing unnecessary fear amongst consumers is permeate-free milk. Now, milk is filtered through a fine sieve using a process called ultrafiltration. This process separates lactose, which is the natural sugar, and also vitamins and minerals, which are collectively known as permeate, from the milk's protein and fat. Now, permeate is not unhealthy or unnatural, and marketing milk as permeate-free has allowed food companies to make their product seem superior compared to other brands. However, we know that permeate is harmless. Now I'm going to move on to some of my shopping tips and tricks, which I explain during my in-person supermarket tours. My first trick is to avoid the aisles. Now, most supermarkets have pretty much the same layout. So when you walk in, you first see the fruits and veggies, you then move to the deli section with lean meat and fish, the bakery, and then on the other side, the milks, eggs, and cheese will be grouped together as well. We only need to walk around the aisles to purchase foods that are within the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating and are our core food groups. Now, of course, there are some exceptions because in the aisles there is wholemeal pasta and brown rice and lentils and legumes. But essentially, to make wise food choices, just walk around the aisles. A budget saving hack is to always look at the bottom shelf. As you can see in this photo, there are 3 different prices for essentially the same product, which is tomatoes, tinned tomatoes. At eye level, you can see the tins which are 80 cents, and then above there is a higher price, which many people believe a higher price is a superior product. And then down the bottom we can see the cheapest price. But essentially this is all tin tomatoes. So look for the bottom shelf and save yourself some dollars. My next tip is something which tends to infuriate me. It's when supermarkets place the same product in different aisles. So this product is almonds. In the health aisle, almonds were selling for $7. In the middle photo is a photo of almonds that were in the aisle with dried fruit and flour, and it was priced for $6. And in the snack aisle, almonds were priced for $5. So it pays to walk around and keep note of the food that you need, which are priced differently. My second tip is to know your nutrients. So on the left-hand side, we have a photo of oats, which claim that they contain a prebiotic fibre. But all oats are naturally prebiotic. So this particular product isn't any superior compared with the other types of oats on the market. In the middle, we have a packet of rice with a claim that says gluten-free, when in actual fact, all rice is naturally gluten-free. And on the right-hand side, we have a photo of Pringles, which have a tick box to say that Pringles are vegetarian and also vegan. But actually, every deep fried potato chip is vegetarian and vegan. Now you might remember in the first webinar that I mentioned that 1 calorie is equivalent to 4.2 kilojoules. Now some food companies realise that people don't know the difference between a kilojoule and a calorie. So this is used as a marketing tool. If you know how to convert your calories to kilojoules, then you'll realise that 100 grams of Halo Top is not much healthier than 100 grams of a Magnum Mini Classic. And if you look further into the nutrition information panel and compare these two products, you will also notice that Halo Top has 95 milligrams more sodium compared with the Magnum, and between the two products there is no difference between the amount of sugars per 100 gram. My favourite tip is for you to eat a piece of fruit before you go and do your supermarket shopping. A study found that people who ate an apple before they went supermarket shopping bought 25% more fruits and vegetables. The researchers think that because they ate the apple, they were less hungry when they were shopping, and so they were less likely to make unhealthy food purchases as well. Now I'm going to wrap up this session with some food for thought. The first being that if you do not understand an ingredient, then do not buy the product, as it is highly likely that it is an unhealthy food. Try to look for packaged foods with less than 7 ingredients for a healthy choice. And I hope you have realised today to avoid the marketing on packaged foods and always read the nutrition information panel and ingredients list to make an informed decision about the healthiness of that packaged food. So I hope you have enjoyed the Savvy Supermarket Shopping webinar series. As previously mentioned, please feel free to send me any questions by heading to my website www.nourishadl.com. You can also make an appointment for a no obligation chat to talk about your health and eating pattern. Please also feel free to follow me on social media for news about upcoming nutrition programs with the City of Unley. Thank you for listening.